This is the first big premium live event that went out on Netflix. I mean, spoilers obviously abound in this. But the winner was Jey Uso of the men's Royal Rumble. So he goes on to challenge for a title at WrestleMania. Doesn't necessarily get the main event.
No, I guess it's
he is a huge merch shifter.
He is the most popular T-shirt of the weekend, wasn't it?
And one of the things about that is you begin to go, well, why shouldn't he be pushed? Because clearly he is incredibly over with the people who buy merch and buy tickets, and if you like, are proper, genuine, important fans.
People who can watch High Speed without vomiting in their mouths. Like people like that.
People who dream of being able to shout yeet all day long. Now, look, if I was in the position of that, I probably would have done the same thing.
Yes, you have to, and he'll fight Gunter and will have a nice time.
They have pulled the trigger on. The other option, of course, would have been John Cena.
Yes.
And John Cena is going to end up in a big main event in WrestleMania anyway.
But he's not the future.
He's not the future. And so when you have that thing of going, do you want someone from the past to win at the expense of someone who is there day in, day out, working hard and shifting merchandise? You have to go, yes, it makes perfect sense to do that. It's not what I wanted to happen. It's a weird one for me because I do go, but this is what wrestling should be. It shouldn't be predictable. And I should go, oh my God, what are they going to do next? What's the Cena route? What's Jey Uso going to do next? How is he going to change from now until then?
Yeah.
And it was also the first time they've ever done it where they've gone, the Royal Rumble will be won by someone that you weren't expecting. It's always gone for the, top three sort of people.
Yeah.
I mean, if they'd have done it back in like 93 and they'd have had Bushwhacker Luke and he'd somehow won it and he'd gone on to face Yokozuna at WrestleMania 9 and lost in 25 seconds, I'd have gone, great lesson.
Yeah.
Great lesson. Great lesson.
Yeah.
I wasn't planning on going to WrestleMania 10. The thing for me is he is hugely popular in the same way that LA Knight's really hugely popular, in the same way that Cena was really popular. And all of those people are not the sort of wrestlers I like. And they don't want me.
No,
why would you want me on their television?
Especially after what you said about John Tenta. But like, I would say that the yeets, you may shift a few T-shirts, but I get the sense that LA Knight is off the boil now.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like, he's got his fucking
Yeah.
Everyone likes shouting yeah. Nobody wants to. Do you want to see LA Knight? No.
They still shout woo.
Yeah.
Do they want to see Ric Flair? In a way. In a way.
In the same way, I want to see Hulk Hogan get hurt. I want to see him get hurt.
I mean, I am looking forward to being wrong. I'm looking forward to him switching a gear and it becoming great. He was in the worst match of last year's WrestleMania.
Yeah.
His the criticism on him is he doesn't have the high level skills in the ring, but he's incredibly charismatic.
Yeah.
And and good luck to him. I did like the end of the Rumble, which I liked the fact that Cena was on the outside and he just gave him a little push. Yeah. Cena was like, fuck it, I'm off. I'm off. Like, I dropped a bollock on that one. Yeah. I've got old and I made a stupid mistake. I actually quite liked it.
Yes.
I thought it was... And I did have a pop. I popped.
Did you pop?
I popped.
Did you pop?
I mean, what do you think of the show overall?
As a whole, in 2 or 3 chunks, I thought it was very, very watchable.
Yeah.
There's one match I did not watch.
No, there's a match that nobody watched.
There's a match that nobody watched.
Nobody watched.
But I thought the ladder match was fucking great.
Yeah.
I thought that the women's rumble was interesting.
But there was a lot of buzz about whether Maven, for example, would be in the Rumble.
Yes,
this year.
But then they watched his match before Christmas and thought, he busted a man's nose and lost a shoe.
Matt Cardona was another one as well, which was, everyone was like, he's going to imagine the pop when he comes out, and he's always sort of like always ready and everything. And then, you get to the end of the 30 and go, oh, none of those were
for
fun.
For the very online people, you've got Joe Hendry. That's the gift for kind of like and yeah.
Joe Hendry's a funny one, eh? Funny one.
It's funny because he's not in the same way that in the women's match there was somebody from TNA who'd signed.
Yeah, he
hasn't signed. He's got his belt and all that stuff, which is good. And it was funny to see him. See the kind of the image of him getting thrown out by Roman Reigns. That was kind of like, that's probably going to
it's part of the new WWE and TNA working agreement.
Yes,
TNA have not learnt a thing.
No,
but it's part of that arrangement. And again, you go, let's set out the parameters of this relationship
Yeah.
really early doors.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns is going to throw Joe Hendry out.
And that will be an honour.
That will be an honour.
That will be an honour
Exactly.
for TNA.
And I think then that feels like the natural order of things, you know? And there was a certain amount of the other WWE people, like when WCW came in, they're being slightly, it's really important I convey that he is from a rinky-dink organisation.
Yes, yeah.
And so you'll get a slight sort of, they'll be standing there going, oh, look at this guy. And it's so demeaning.
In any other situation, they would have re-edited his Titantron stuff.
Yeah.
But that is very much the thing he filmed on fucking Arthur's seat or whatever.
Yes.
And it's there and it's been used and he made it himself. And now it's on a big screen.
Yeah, on his own song that he sings himself and recorded himself.
Yeah. Do I get some PRs for that? Nope.
No,
Nope.
That's not how it works in the big leagues, baby.
It's technically clothing for you. It's technically a gimmick.
Yeah, but they did have, you know, some stars in attendance. They did show The Godfather.
Yes.
The Godfather waited for them to put the camera on him, and then before he went, yay, he went... took his vape and the smoke came out, and I was just like, wait 10 seconds.
You will have been informed that the camera's going to come to you at 1 minute. You're not going to have to do anything, so just wait.
The guy is standing in front of you. You know, you can't miss it. There was a little bit where Michael Cole on Matt just went, "It's the Godfather, all aboard the train." You coward.
You bloody coward. Barrett said holy shit early on.
Holy shit.
Holy shit.
He was a...
Barrett, he was
making the most of it, wasn't he?
He got a bit dirty at one point.
He did.
He undercut the John Cena thing a bit.
He did.
He was all over the shop. He was loud. He'd lost his voice during the women's rumble. It was good stuff. If you're a Barrett botherer like us, I enjoyed. He name checked a footballer. He name checked the ex Chelsea footballer N'Golo Conte.
Did he?
Yeah,
man,
who is famous for driving around in a Mini.
I wrote down the line.
The best midfielder since N'Golo Conte.
This is a woman prepared to snatch some hair or slap someone's mama in order to get herself to the top 8. Soccer standout during her days in college, and many have said the best holding midfielder since N'Golo Kante. But this is a very different game now.
And like just worthless.
You know what Conte sounds like? I don't have to tell you, we're all red-blooded adults.
I just nearly saw some knockers.
He said at one point, I wrote down, don't know what it was in relation to, but it was nothing that you'd go, oh, that makes sense. He just went, insatiable appetite, Michael Cole. Insatiable. When Io Sky came out in the Women's Rumble, he just shouted, say hello to the unluckiest woman on planet Earth. It's just...
and win the Rumble, but it's damn difficult.
Well, say hello to the unluckiest woman on planet Earth tonight, Io Sky. Damn, you're right, Cole. It's not impossible, but likely, hell no.
Oh, calm it down.
It is just like something's gone wrong in the commentary on a video game.
Yeah.
And they're just shouting. They've got
at a level.
The pace has gone all
There were
off.
a couple of bits as well where he lost control of his own voice. And there was a bit where he'd get to the end and he'd get strangulated because he'd been talking too long. And there was a bit like with Trish Stratus where he was sort of going, she really is one of the most persistent women in the world. But the important thing about Barrett means, of course, who has he replaced?
Oh, yes, he's replaced the lizard in a suit.
That's right.
Yes.
Corey Graves.
Yes.
Little known fact is that Netflix, they have a very, very strict no shite hooks policy. And unfortunately,
So what is the deal with Graves? Because obviously we don't like it.
There is
I thought when he wasn't there, I thought, Rumble.
No.
Rumble.
Do you know what? That would have been... You are such a fucking good booker. You are such a fucking good booker. That would have been all right, and he would have been booed to shit, and it would have been great. Yeah. What has basically happened is no one quite knows is the answer, but he was taken off of the main Raw shows on Netflix, and they announced he was going to go to Netflix. Not Netflix, NXT.
Right.
Too many N's and X's.
Yeah.
And what he did was he posted a tweet saying about how unhappy he was about that and how disrespectful it was.
Okay.
And and
which he has every right to be even-handed.
Yeah, I mean, he probably does have a clause in his contract that says do not disparage the company on social media or the decisions.
Yeah.
But what basically happened is that they sort of quickly went, it's an angle.
Yeah, they
which
do that.
you can always do in wrestling, can't you? You really can. Oh, gee, I just feel like we're getting really close, and I just wondered if I could kiss you. And what are you talking about? It's an angle. I'm working you bitch.
What a beautiful thing.
Get ready to add to your collection the exclusive John Cena Farewell Tour Funko Pop. Don't wait, this unique collectible is only available at WWE Shop and Fanatics. Visit shop.wwe.com or scan the QR code now to grab yours.
They had the good face-off as well with Reigns, Punk, and Cena.
Yes.
And then Seth Rollins' music playing. Another example of how they don't quite get it right. Sometimes you can be too in the bubble, and you sort of go, "This will really make the pop go even higher," and you're like, "Oh, it seems to have dissipated the pop." Bad news.
Let's make the ramp really long.
yeah. But Cena, I think you could see as well. I've warmed to Cena because I do find him deeply bizarre and strange.
Because it's all going to end sometime.
But it's coming to an end.
And good God, the camera people were not kind once more.
Oh,
they were
my
not
God.
It took up the whole screen.
Yep.
His baldy head. Like, it took up the whole screen. Good on him.
Yeah,
for sort of going, everyone's seen it. Whatever I do with it, people are going to think it's because of the balls, but I'm just going to freaking keep it.
Yeah, exactly.
And again, that makes me like him more.
It does, because he's also weird. That is a weird thing where you could just go, do you know what? I was actually going a bit bald, so I'm going to shave my head.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I will force these people to show that shame is simply a construction of a society that doesn't have my best interest at heart. He is aging at an incredible rate.
Yeah.
I mean, he is our age.
The varicose veins on his sort of shoulder, he's starting to look like a carrier bag with fairy lights in it. just the kind of like the veins just seem to.
He is, and we're going to look back and we're going to go, that was a generous thing to do with the Jey Uso thing. He puts him over, and Cena looks like, I can't believe it. Am I washed up? And that is, I mean, as a compelling wrestling story, am I washed up? Can I still do it? Even though I've got a year to go.
Yeah.
Is it all over already?
Yeah.
I think is a bold angle to do.
Oh, imagine if he just did a random match in Puerto Rico and stabbed a man in the showers. Imagine if he did something like a tribute, but something mental.
Or Elimination Chamber. He just shits himself on the way down to the ring, and he's like so committed to this thing about my body is failing me. I mean,
or he keeps losing his shoe like Maven.
Hello,
everybody. I'd like to apologise for what I did in the ring. Oh dear,
remember,
Maven.
The only shoes that you lose, this on Twitter, the only shoes you lose, the shoes that you don't, some nonsense taken out of an Alain de Botton book on the highlights online.
I like that AJ Styles has become incredibly anonymous when he should really probably be celebrated.
That's right.
With all of his hard work in, two pretty major companies.
Yep. Since you could say pretty much, a 20-year career of excellence.
Yep.
And you see him now and you're just like, oh, it's AJ. Just strange, isn't it? Just strange. Again, this does feel to me, like you could just sit there and the Royal Rumble feels to me like it almost could have been tailor-made for them to go. So all the contracts come to an end after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So let's see who we're not going to bring back. And you could go through and start just starring off that.
Yeah.
Akira Tozawa, who had his place taken by Show Speed.
Yeah.
I mean, Akira Tozawa, lying on that floor, he must have thought, well, this is the last time I'll get to see that big Royal Rumble sign. It feels very much like those are over. But yeah, more Jacob Fatu.
Yeah.
I mean, just a couple of standout guys, but Jacob Fatu and Bron Breakker. They both sort of their
Was Bron Breakker the one who did the Mike's Hard Lemonade guitar thing with Nakamura? I'm thinking of someone else.
No, that was Rick Boogs.
It was Rick Boogs. I knew they had B and an O in
Rick
there or something.
Boogs was let go, and Boogs very much said this whole Triple H era is bollocks. He said Vince McMahon knew exactly. He really liked me.
Right.
And this is like months after all of the stuff had come out. It's like, all right, okay.
The things he used to text me. I tell you what. Hayes, he's involved now, isn't he?
Yes, that's right. The new Janelle Grant filing, has named some extras and other people involved, including Brock Lesnar.
Go back and Slater's on the. I thought Lesnar was already on there. Oh no, he was an unnamed UFC.
That's right. That's
unnamed
right.
UFC champion.
Looking at Michael Hayes, you wouldn't think he'd be involved in anything sordid and horrible.
No, you really wouldn't, would you?
No.
He looks too thick to be able to operate a mobile phone, to be fair.
Guys, I live on Bad Street. What do you expect? What do you expect?
I got this SIM card from Bad Street.
This bum bag's full of condoms. I bet there's an old condom there from like 1992.
Absolutely.
One day, my precious. One day.